UPB from OptionMillionaires.com. Look at the S&P 500 up significantly today. We have the jobs report coming out. Everyone's like, oh, if we have a strong jobs report, stocks are going to tank. Oh, no. Did the exact opposite, like it's done pretty much since the lows in 2009. You know, all the bears are like, oh, this is it. We're going to head to zero. The world's coming to an end. And sure enough, we just keep moving higher. I think the only thing the bears have going for them is the possible head and shoulders pattern that is forming on the S&P 500. We had a lower high in the middle of November. We hit all-time highs here in the start of December, and we're pulling back. We haven't hit all-time highs. So if we do roll over, hit this next line at 178, we could see a move down at about 170 level. Been talking about this for a while at OptionMillionaires.com. And what really has me convinced is that since the lows we've seen since November 2012, the Abenomics low that we hit right here, we've had V-bottoms, and I'll just bring it back to the 2-year chart, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. We've had these V-bottoms, V-bottom, 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 V-bottom. Then we had a W-bottom back this summer with the Syria talk, and then we had the government shutdown, a beautiful V-bottom. Right now we have the opposite of a W-bottom. We have a head and shoulders, which is really a really nice topping pattern. And so this is something to keep an eye on. It's something we haven't seen really since the lows in November. We're forming a right shoulder, so let's see what happens. Really, Monday of this week coming up is going to be very important if we do indeed pull back. But look at some of the other characteristics of this rally. The volatility index, look at the VXX, which tracks the short-term futures, the VIX. Rallied late in the session, but for the most part, just been selling off. And this implies investors being very sanguine about the future of volatility in this market, meaning if there's not going to be a lot of volatility in this market, stocks are just going to melt higher. And that's what we've been getting so far. But when you get people and then traders and investors just sitting so far on one side of the trade, usually what happens is the opposite happens. And that's what we had at the start of this year. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, the sequester, the debt ceiling, and then we just ramped. And that was a great point to be buying stocks, as were each of these yellow bottoms. But here we are. This looks, it looks, so many people calling for more gains for this market. This just, to me, it just looks like we're topping. That's what it looks like to me. Call me crazy, but you know, that's what you're watching this video for an opinion on this market. And to me, this looks like we're topping. Look at all these beautiful yellow circles, V-bottoms. As we move higher, we're topping. That's what it looks like to me. We're going to make a move down to 175, which would bring us right to this candle here, and then ultimately down to this pink line that's going to act as support about 171.50. But nobody else is telling you that. Just like nobody else was telling you to buy stocks back at the lows at the start of this year, except us at OptionMillionaires.com. Jimmy Bob was talking about a parabolic rise in stocks this year. And sure enough, we have almost a 30% gain. Historic rise in stocks. You're not going to see that every year. The last time we saw that was over 15 years ago. So beautiful, beautiful gain. Let's move to some individual stocks. Google is breaking out to all-time highs. Hit a new all-time high today, closed at 1. And if you think, look at this number here. If you think that and I brought this up, you go to OptionMillionaires.com. Stock prices are pegged at options expiration. $1,070 for Google. That's what it hit after hours. It was above that. How about Apple broke down today? Apple analyst came out, but still, chart looks very bullish to me. Even this breakdown today, stock's going to hit new all-time highs soon. Bond market was very surprising. I thought we were going to break down to new lows, which we came close to. But if you look from a long-term perspective, it looks very bearish on this chart. I think 98 is coming pretty soon. But right now, it just seems very buoyant. Amazing to see it up. We had a late day rally for TLT, the bond market. Buyers stepped in. So that's got me a little concerned. We also had the same thing with the VXX. Initial rally, but look, the long-term chart VXX is just like dead. Oh, goodbye. A couple more stocks I want to bring up to you. How about Yahoo? Brought up Marissa Mayer. Forbes, she's in Vanity Fair, talking about it's more concerned about her own personal image than she is the stock. But to me, That's what that's what stocks are all about, right? You have an investor looking to get into a stock, and if the CEO is kind of mundane, doesn't say anything, it's not so interesting. But you get Yahoo, the turnaround story. You can see that the move up we've had since the middle of 2012. Beautiful move, almost 200% to the upside. This is all about Marissa Mayer because she's making herself out there to get the public image of Yahoo turned around and doing a great job. And that's what that's what stocks are all about. It's not about how good the company is, especially these days. It's about how good the company looks. So anyway, I'm going to move on from that before I get myself in trouble. Let's move into a couple more tickers, and then we'll call it a night. Hope everyone has a good weekend. We are moving into the Santa rally, right? Santa Claus rally. Historically, December's been a very good month, and you can see 2009, every month has been a good month. It's like, oh, just pick it out of a hat. Oh, it's up. And yeah, so if you've been a bear since 2009, you're either trading with invisible money because you've been shorting this market since 2009, or you've been trading, I don't know, an inverse ETF or something. Hopefully that'll save you from continued losses. But anyway, let's move into some more stocks, and then we'll call it a night. How about Western Digital, which hit a new all-time high recently, and STX as well. Seagate Technology breaking out to new all-time highs. Big Lots took it on the chin today, breaking down, but I like Big Lots. I don't know what it is about it. The fact that their stores are popping up all over the place, something to keep an eye on. UPB's channel checks show that Big Lots is growing like a wart. No, they're obviously the investment world did not like their financial numbers from their earnings report before the bell on Friday. But Big Lots, something I would keep an eye on, especially if we see, for instance, Kohl's Stores is coming back. KSS is the ticker. You go back, that's a 60-day, but you go back a little further, off its all-time highs at $59. How about Target, which is $73, now at $63? This is something to keep an eye on too, possibly topping, but I don't know. And then the S&P 500, which is just off it. Let's pull back a little closer and see. We were at 181.75, all-time highs, okay? So if we break up the 181.75 at the open on Monday, boom, this head and shoulders pattern is gone. The topping I'm talking about is gone, and all of those bulls, the almost record investor sentiment for upside, will be right. So anyway, something to keep an eye on. So I'll bring you up to date Sunday night after all the football games. I'll bring up a video at optionmillionaires.com. You can tune in, see if my sentiment has changed, but I don't think it will. All right, UPB here. Everyone have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday night. Goodbye.